My dad wanted me to marry my cousin to keep our family genetics pure. Then he found out the truth about our bloodline. When I turned 16, Dad sat me down with genetic charts and breeding records going back centuries. He explained that my cousin Kevin had been selected as my future husband because together we would create children with the most perfect blue eyes the world has ever seen. He had already arranged everything with Kevin's parents. For 2 years, I pretended to go along with it while secretly planning my escape. I applied to colleges on the other side of the country using the school library computers. I hid acceptance letters inside old textbooks Dad would never touch. I saved every dollar from tutoring and told Dad the money was going toward my future household with Kevin. But Dad found out. He stumbled across my acceptance letter tucked inside my chemistry textbook. That night, he sat me down at the kitchen table with this look on his face like I had personally betrayed generations of our family. You were going to abandon your genetic destiny for some liberal arts degree? His voice was calm, but his eyes were furious. Do you have any idea how rare our bloodline is? I tried to explain. Dad, I just want a normal life. I want to choose who I marry. He slammed his hand on the table. Choice is how bloodlines get diluted. Choice is how genetic legacies die. I will not let you destroy everything our ancestors built. After that, everything changed. Dad took my phone and replaced it with an old flip phone that could only call him and Kevin. He installed monitoring software on the family computer and told me I was being homeschooled for my senior year because public school was contaminating my priorities. The worst part was Kevin. He started coming over almost every day for supervised visits, where he and Dad would discuss my reproductive future like I was a prize cow at auction. Kevin would look at me with this hungry expression and say things like, "I can't wait to see our babies," and "You're going to be such a good mother to our children." When I told Dad that Kevin made me uncomfortable, he waved me off. "You'll learn to appreciate him once you're married. Your feelings will catch up to your genetics." I wanted to scream at him that my feelings would never catch up to marrying my own cousin, but I knew it wouldn't matter. Dad recruited my aunts and uncles to watch me whenever he couldn't. They took shifts driving me places and reporting back about who I talked to. My aunt would sit in the parking lot during my dentist appointments just to make sure I didn't try to run. Even my uncle, who I thought was normal, started lecturing me about genetic responsibility, like he had been brainwashed too. I tried everything. I wrote letters to my grandmother begging for help, but Dad intercepted them before they could be mailed. I attempted to sneak out at night, but the motion sensor lights Dad installed gave me away. I even tried to convince Kevin that this whole thing was wrong. "Kevin, we're cousins. This is insane. Don't you see how messed up this is?" He just smiled and said, "Our children will thank us for keeping the bloodline pure. You'll understand once you hold them." Every escape route I found, Dad blocked. Every ally I tried to reach, he got there first. I was completely trapped in my own home with my wedding date getting closer every day. Then my grandmother showed up unannounced on a Sunday morning. She had never visited without calling first in my entire life. She walked into our living room where the family had gathered for our weekly genetic legacy meeting and announced she had something important to say. Dad looked annoyed but let her speak. "I've let this go on long enough," she said quietly. "I started this nonsense 50 years ago and I've watched it destroy this family ever since. It ends today." Dad laughed nervously. "Mother, what are you talking about? You taught us everything about our genetic heritage." "I taught you lies." She pulled out an old photograph of a man none of us recognized. "This is your real father. His name was Robert and he was a traveling salesman I had an affair with in 1972. Your father, the man who raised you, was completely sterile. Those blue eyes you worship so much, they came from a stranger I slept with twice and never saw again." The room went completely silent. Dad's face drained of color. Kevin looked like someone had slapped him. "There is no genetic legacy," Grandmother continued. "There is no pure bloodline. There's just a lie I told to explain why my baby had different colored eyes than my husband, and you turned it into a religion." Dad started shaking. "You're lying. You have to be lying." But Grandmother just shook her head. "I have the letters. I have the photographs. I kept everything. His entire identity, everything he had built, everything he had put me through, was based on a fiction his mother invented to cover up an affair." I packed my bags that afternoon. Grandmother drove me to the bus station and handed me an envelope with enough cash to get me started. I blocked Dad's number.